I wanted to get a Swedish player in there.
Oh, piss.
Hey!
There you go. Right.
That's why it was easy.
Yeah, that's why it was easy, because I made a mistake. Right, okay.
Hi, welcome to the 10th episode of the We Only Sing When We're Winning podcast. I'm delighted to be joined today by my three musketeers, the Athos, Porthos, Aramis to my D'Artagnan. One never recovering from a breakup and seeking solace in wine. One fond of fashionable clothes and keen to make a fortune for himself. And yet another, a handsome young man who hesitates between his religious calling and his fondness for chasing after them. I'll let you decide who it's between. A warm welcome, of course, to Josh Hoppystill, Charlie Marriott, and Gareth Hardman. How's it going, guys?
That was glorious.
I spent all of my week coming up with that.
Yeah, I think the introductions are definitely getting better the longer we do these.
Oh, that was fantastic. You can tell that he doesn't want to do his work, can't you?
Yes.
Done. We're done. This is it.
Oh, wow.
That is the end of our podcast. Thank you. Okay, so on today's podcast, we're going to do things a little bit differently to start with. I set the guys some trivia earlier this week. Well, not trivia as such. They're going to be the ones doing the trivia for the rest of us, so it should be quite interesting. We're going to have our squad builder, where I set the guys the challenge of coming up with a team that had never played in the Premier League, but also players who don't have A or E in their surname. And then we'll have a final round of Gareth's quiz, which I'm really looking forward to, hoping that it goes to a tie break to see Gareth's face when he realizes, oh shit, yeah, I'm not going to swear. Oh, damn, I need to come up with a tie break. Have you already done that, Gareth?
I haven't, no. I'm trusting you here, Martin.
You're trusting me? So Charlie hasn't bought you the PlayStation yet, then?
He hasn't bought me. The offer is still open.
It's open for another half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. And if anyone in the comments wants to buy my PlayStation.
Okay, shall we get started with this trivia challenge that I set you? What happened was I got in touch with everyone via Facebook earlier in the week and gave them a question to answer, essentially. And from that answer, I asked them to come up with 5 kind of clues or links that hint at the answer that they gave. The first clue being the hardest, the last clue the easiest, probably the obvious one to give it away. So I'm going to get everyone to reveal their clues one by one, and others can buzz in when they know the answer. So an example might be, who are the current champions of England? If the answer was Manchester City, you might have the following 5 clues. First one, 1880. Does anyone know what 1880 is in the context of Man City?
Yeah,
When they were founded.
Yeah, they were founded, yeah. Puma?
Current kit manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. Mubarak?
Mubarak.
Yeah.
One of the owners.
Yeah, exactly, the chairman. Vincent Company. And then the final clue would be Pep, the current manager.
Okay.
Great. Shall I start? Shall I start us off? Mine's quite tenuous.
Okay.
It's never good.
No.
One thing to bear in mind is you're not going to be told the category. So it might not be a club that we're looking for. It might be a player, it might be a ground, it could be anything, and you're not going to be told the category, so you just have to go from the clues and try and link it to whatever you think the answer might be.
Okay.
So we'll start with mine. Yeah? Okay, so clue 1. As soon as you know, just shout the answer or buzz in, whatever you want to do. If you've got a buzzword, you can come in with it.
I didn't hear the clue. You kind of...
I haven't given you the clue yet. Sorry.
Okay, that's right.
So, clue 1. This was with Charlie in mind. Well, is that a Russia shirt you're wearing? Some kind of Russia shirt?
It was the old limited edition Spartak Moscow 3rd kit from when I lived in Russia about 7 or 8 years ago.
Nice. Well, this clue is appropriate. And clue 1 is Trotsky.
Okay.
So it's
Stop.
a club or a player that's been consigned to the dustbin of history.
Is it? I think. No.
I don't think you're going to get it from Trotsky, probably.
No, all right, maybe not. Okay, fine.
Leon Osman.
Not Leonard. I like. I see where you're going.
I don't.
Okay. Clue 2, Schalke. No.
No.
Clue 3, Germany. I love the look on your face.
Right.
No, okay. Clue 4, box to box.
Lewis Holtby.
Stop.
Stop,
Is
okay.
it Leon Goretzka?
He is on it, Leon Goretzka. That's why, Gareth, I said your first guess was absolutely superb. Leon from Trotsky, Leon Goretzka. Can anyone guess what clue 5 was going to be?
Bayern?
Bayern, exactly. Do you know what question I asked myself, hypothetically?
Mm.
Go on.
Who is my favourite Bundesliga player?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, nice. Okay, shall we move on to... Let's go for Josh. Are you happy with your 5 clues?
Yep. Okay. I've done mine in slightly longer format, but yeah, I'll start. They're a club that was founded in 1898.
Okay.
Clue 1. Clue 2. Their stadium is named after an early Christian saint thrown to the lions.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're getting on to the clues where you might potentially get the answer. Their current manager is Gaitska Garitano.
This is going well.
This is going really well.
4.
Stop.
Okay.
Is it Real Sociedad?
Not Real Sociedad.
Oh,
Clue 4. Last season they finished 8th in La Liga.
Not far off then.
Clue 5. I wrote about them in our La Liga article.
I've stopped Bilbao.
Yep.
how nice. Anyone guess what Josh's question was?
Yep. The question was, what is my favourite non-UK football team?
Nice.
And for the record, the stadium is the San Mamés Stadium.
Nice.
Oh,
Fair. Well done. That's good.
wow, that's good. Shall we head over to Gareth?
Mine are a bit tenuous as well. Here we go. Clue 1. Millennium.
Is it Robbie Williams?
It's not Robbie Williams. Clue 2. 1958. See, this is where you might start getting it. Clue 3. Loreen.
Loreen.
Okay. Clue 4. Blue and yellow.
I have it, but I know the category, so it's kind of unfair, so I'm going to let the others guess.
Stop Sweden.
Yeah, it is Sweden. Clue 5 for the record was Nicholas, which was obvious. The question was, who was my favourite international team? To explain the first 3 clues, Millennium was the name of the magazine that Blomqvist writes for in The Girl with the Dragon's 2 books, which is set in Sweden.
Wow.
1958 was the Swedish World Cup, where Sweden got to the final.
Loreen is a Eurovision winner from Sweden.
That was the one I didn't get.
I thought you were going to get that, Charlie. I'll be honest.
I'm a bit down on my Eurovision, I'm afraid.
No worries. I know. I think Martin downloaded that song, but anyway,
Probably. That sounds like something to do.
Did I?
Euphoria.
Maybe I did.
No. My clue 5 was originally Zlatan, but I thought that gave it away too much.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
We would have got Nicholas.
Yeah. I mean, it was mainly because Josh called him Nicholas last week, so I wanted to clarify that there's no H or O in it. It's just Nicholas.
Nice. We're really showcasing our football knowledge here, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's all right. I may have you until the final clue.
Okay, over to you then, Charlie.
Okay, so my first clue, and I've just gone for one word answers here, so sorry, that's just not the difficulty. But first clue is gasworks.
Okay.
Second clue is Olympics.
Oh,
Okay.
Third clue is disputes. Don't worry, it'll fit together in a minute. Fourth clue is printer.
printer.
Yeah. And the fifth and final clue is wasp. Does this mean I win?
Wasp.
What?
Martin, you know the category as well. You gave this to me.
I know the category, but I'm trying desperately to.
Right, bonus clue then. My category was my favourite ground.
I mean, is it one you went to in Japan?
No, it's in England. I've been fair on that.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm. Right, I'll explain.
Is it the Rico?
It is the Rico Arena in Coventry.
Okay, Wasp is from the rugby team, isn't it?
Yep. So Wasps are the team that play there. Printer is made by company Rico, who sponsor the stadium. Disputes. There have been disputes over the rents, which means Coventry have had to play in Northampton and Birmingham as a result. Olympics. It was known as the City of Coventry Stadium for the 2012 London Olympics. And gasworks, because it's built on the site of an old gasworks up in that area of Coventry, which Martin might remember. Might be you may have. No, all right, fine. It's his side of.
I mean, when you say gasworks, I was thinking Bristol Rovers.
I knew that one would throw you, and that's exactly why it went in there.
I was thinking Zenit St. Petersburg. That's Gazprom.
Yeah, Gazprom. Yeah. I think unanimously we can say I won that. Like the whole thing.
I mean, sometimes he has to win something, so we'll.
I'm not going to win. Well, I'm not going to win the trivia later, am I? Let's be fair.
What is it? Why do you like the Rico so much?
It's like I've always had good memories going there. Like obviously being quite close to where I grew up, and just it's kind of just been ever since it's been built. It's just been a very permanent fixture for the last sort of 10, 15 years of my life. So even though I don't go very often, it's still quite special.
What about you, Josh and Gareth? Do you have a favourite ground, UK or otherwise?
It'd have to be Norm Goodison. It's tough. I mean, it comes down to where you have good memories, I think. I have very mixed memories of Ewood Park, but the good memories from Ewood Park are up there with some of my best football memories. When Forest scored a late winner and I was in the away end right in front of us, and that was a mental atmosphere. I always liked New Wembley. I know that's controversial, but I have always liked New Wembley. And I will be honest, I hate to admit it, but the City of Manchester Stadium is a fantastic ground.
It's just so where I've not been. Like, the whole complex is just that you just have to be impressed by what they've done there.
Absolutely. And the fact that City, they when I went there, I've actually been there for more gigs than football matches, but I know they haven't got massive amounts of history, but they have it all plastered everywhere. They're really proud of City as a club, which is...
I think it's worth bringing up Craven Cottage here as well, because that's a ground with a lot of character in a great location. And also, Martin will remember, I think it took me 2 hours to regain my voice after the time we went there.
Yeah. For me, it's similar for the away atmosphere, Bristol City, Ashton Gate. Maybe it's just because of the away days that Josh and I have done, but they've been some of the best away days I remember. Yeah. I think it is tied to your memory, isn't it? It's not whether it's an amazing ground or,
I liked Brighton's ground when we went.
Yeah.
I've got very fond memories of going to the Amex.
I mean, I'm not surprised, given you mentioned Wembley, because it is almost like a mini Wembley.
It is, but in Brighton, so that's better than London.
Yeah.
But no, for that memories point, that's exactly why I wouldn't, even though they're my team, I wouldn't say the Hawthorns is my favourite ground, partly because it's a pig to get to, but also because I've never seen the Albion win there. I've really got much to tie it to.
Really? If West Brom get promoted, we're going, Charlie. Easy 3 points for Everton, that.
I think a ground that we've got to bring up in this discussion when it's us, the four of us, is the Mestalla, because it brings back some really good memories of the times that we had there, and it's certainly it's certainly a memorable ground.
I had another one in there, and that's the One Call Stadium or Field Mill in Mansfield.
Oh yeah,
that's going back a few years to when before Josh was an honest man.
Anything else? Shut your mouth. We have a section on it later.
There are photos on social media.
Have a look.
Okay, interesting. Where's he gone? Oh, he's put the lights on. Okay.
He's got to put his lights on. Someone's put 20p in the meter and he's allowed to put the lights on again.
Just got a text through to say the energy bill's been paid. We're all good.
There you go.
Yeah.
They can take the tortoise off the generator now.
He would not move fast enough for that. Let's move on before this descends into
Yeah, let's move on. So a rare win for Charlie. We'll leave that there. Not talk about that anymore, ever again. What about this week? This week in football, anything caught your eye this week?
Yes. Can I start, because this one just amuses me.
Yeah,
It has been known that through this coronavirus period that some countries may not be reporting as honestly as we think they would be. It will come as a great surprise to you that Russia may not be reporting coronavirus as accurately as it is. And this, a week or so ago, the Russian Premier League started again. Unfortunately,
I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with this. Unfortunately, one of the teams, Tambov, I think it was, maybe. No, Rostov, not Tambov, Rostov. Unfortunately, about a day before they were due to play the team in Sochi, 6 players tested positive for coronavirus, and obviously massive quarantine and all this business. So, quite rightly, they requested to postpone the game because this massively affects their team because they were in quarantine now. And Sochi said, no, do one. You're fulfilling the fixture. So they did fulfill the fixture with the under-17 team. And Gareth, what was the score?
Was it 9-1?
It was 10-1. The under-17s got spanked 10-1.
Well, they took the lead. They took the lead.
Put up a picture on social media making some sort of reference to winning with kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gareth's right. They did. They took the lead.
They took the lead, and their goalkeeper saved the penalty as well.
Mm-hmm.
By all things considered, this is not a terrible result. But from what I was reading, is more controversial because Sochi are like a feeder club for Zenit, and it's like government controlled. So they obviously want Zenit to win the league, and Rostov were vaguely in contention for the title. So it kind of removes one of their rivals from the.
Yeah, Sochi are so much a feeder team to Zenit, but Zenit own them and basically have been told to kind of like toe the line. Sochi are right down the bottom of the Premier League. They will get relegated because they just will. But yeah, it was an interesting situation, and I think I referenced Tambov when I got the names mixed up. I think Tambov have had maybe 4 players quarantined, testing positive for COVID-19 as well. So for all of the criticism we throw the way of this country, it could always be worse.
I mean, at least we don't have Novak Djokovic.
At least we don't have Novak Djokovic.
We had to work a way to get his stupidity into this week's pod. Yeah. We can see that Josh is chomping at the bit though to talk about Exeter.
Exeter played. Exeter been playing football.
I haven't heard him mention it at all.
No. I didn't realise they'd started again.
No, I've just about calmed down from the fact that we are going to Wembley. I think that I'm not quite sure how I didn't have a heart attack watching that game. I was certainly getting quite emotive towards the end when Exeter got a 2-goal lead and very nearly threw it away. However, we didn't. It was a beautiful winning goal. Collins with a great run through the midfield, lost it through to Ryan Bowman. I should just bring up a bit of trivia here, actually, is that I go to the same hairdressers as Ryan Bowman.
And did you last go to the same hairdressers as Ryan Bowman?
Also,
probably a few months ago, but yeah, when I walked past hairdressers one day, out walked Ryan Bowman. So
it was a beautiful
to go to that hairdressers.
Yeah, Josh. No, that last goal from Bowman though was an absolute thing of beauty. The highlights from Sky Sports Football's YouTube channel, they are well worth a watch for a couple of minutes.
How does it feel, Josh, knowing that your team are going to Wembley but you can't be there? It must be a really weird one.
It is a bit, but to be honest, 2 years ago we went to Wembley and it was a really, really unhappy day in that it was like a 14-hour round day. it was a terrible match. We lost, and it was expensive. So in a way, I'm not that sorry for missing out on it. But obviously, and I suspect we won't. I think Northampton are going to win. But if we were getting promotion, it would be nice to be there.
And not to sound too flippant, because my team were in this exact situation as well, but Exeter are the kind of team that always kind of straddle that promotion relegation zone between the two divisions. So if they did go up and then came back down again, they would immediately be in contention again. So within 2, 3, 5 years, another trip to Wembley where you could go is pretty likely.
Well, to be honest, Exeter seem to have quite a thing with Wembley. We've been 4 times since we've had the new stadium, and we very nearly got another trip. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been because the current situation would have put paid to it, but we were stoppage time away from getting through to the Checkatrade final as well.
Quick, would you rather lose at Wembley and have another chance to actually be there next season, or would you rather win at Wembley this time and then comfortably survive in League One next season?
Definitely the latter, but I mean, I think it's worth also mentioning the Northampton performance. They really were quite something. I don't know if anyone actually remembers me saying on here a week or 2 ago that I thought that Northampton would be Exeter in the final of the playoffs. I think that's looking not a bad prediction right now.
Yeah, you did call them.
Because looking at the way Northampton played against Cheltenham the other day, I think they're going to be really, really tough to beat. And I think what elevates them from being just another like long ball League Two team is a certain lad they've got on loan from West Brom. He looks a real prospect.
We've got a couple.
Although I've seen that you've just released Kane Wilson, who
yes.
When that news went up on Twitter, he got a lot of messages. Most of them were from Exeter fans. Come home, Kane.
Yeah, and that would be a really good move. Obviously, sadly, just not going to get in the Albion team, but someone like Exeter would be an absolute good fit for him. I've not seen much. I can't really give you much of an insight or anything, but.
I mean, to be honest, I've seen a lot more of him than you have because of his loan spells at Exeter. But I think we're going to find this a lot because of what's happened. There's going to be a lot of players released that are going to be snapped up by lower league clubs, and potentially they're going to have a big sell-on value in a couple of years' time. And I think Kane Wilson is one of those players. You can get him on a free transfer now. If he gets a couple of seasons of regular football, he might well be one that a championship club would be prepared to spend a bit of money on.
Oh, absolutely. Just to give you a bit more confidence, Josh, I'm just looking at the odds for the playoff final. Exeter are 4 to 5 favourites, Northampton 10 to 11. So it's like it is literally flip a coin at this point. But Northampton, that comeback against Cheltenham was like that was just like, wait, what?
They deserved it as well because I've published my take on the playoffs, and there really wasn't anything between the 4 sides. But if you look at the first leg, Cheltenham-Northampton, yes, Cheltenham won 2-0, but it really wasn't a 2-0 game. I thought there was every chance that Northampton could get back into it if they got an early goal, and that's exactly what happened. And to be honest, you never felt confident that Cheltenham would see it through. And I don't know what you guys think of that generally. Like, I mean, what is 2-0 like the lead? Because I find it horrible.
I think it was it Sir Alex Ferguson who said it was the most dangerous scoreline in football?
Something like that, wasn't it?
Someone definitely said that once, and I do agree with that. Everton literally, 2 hours ago, beat Norwich 1-0, and I do...
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
Anyone waiting to watch Match of the Day, turn away now. And yeah, 1-0 in a way feels more comfortable than 2-0 because you have to still be on your guard defensively. I think 2-0 defenses tend to go for a little mental break.
Yeah, the job's done. Yeah.
Yeah, they think they've got it in the bag. Keepers might let a howler in. And then all of a sudden, 2-1, it only takes a second to score a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So
in the Exeter match, Exeter were 2-0 up, but then obviously we had over 30 minutes still to defend, and that's a long time to see out a lead. Colchester got one back, and then just like all the momentum is with them.
Yeah, I think the other thing about it is you've made a good point there. 30 minutes is a very long time to defend, but at 2-0, what do? Do you defend or do you try and push for a third goal? If you try and push for a third goal, you're going to be open at the back. But if you defend, you've got sustained pressure for half an hour, which most teams would crack under.
And that's what happened in the Northampton game. Like, right from the first whistle, it was obvious that Northampton was setting up to attack and Cheltenham was setting up to defend. And it was only 9 minutes when Northampton scored. And then you've got over 80 minutes to defend a 1-goal lead. And you can see why it went wrong.
I mean, the final thing I'll say is on a 2-legged tie, 2-0's a better score than you think it is. I remember a Europa League match a few years ago, Everton-Fiorentina, and we were losing the away leg 1-0 and they scored a late second goal. And we lost that tie on penalties at Goodison because we turned the 2-goal deficit around. We couldn't get a third goal to win it overall. We dominated them at Goodison, but we just couldn't find a third goal. Finding 2 goals is relatively simple. Finding a third to actually win the tie, that's quite difficult.
But I went to a UEFA Cup match a few years ago between Tottenham and Inter Milan, and Tottenham absolutely demolished Inter Milan 3-0. And to be honest, you left the game thinking they should have got more. But hey, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, surely the tie's over. Actually, it wasn't. Like, Tottenham did go through, but Inter Milan, they very nearly got it back.
Doesn't it just show that football is predictable, and that's why we love the game so much?
Absolutely. I think that's what's really interesting about the Bundesliga, a point you made, Gareth, where teams do go 2-0 up, but they don't defend. They know that they can't defend. Even Bayern Munich, a couple of weeks ago, they went 3-0 up against Frankfurt, and they decided to still keep going forward. And Frankfurt came back to 3-2, and then, Bayern really turned the pressure up. But, I mean, it's an interesting point whether you should defend a 2-3 goal lead or if you should keep your foot on the gas and keep going.
I'm very much of the view that you should keep going. If what you've been doing is good enough to get you a 2-0 lead, like, why wouldn't you keep doing it? I think that was so much about momentum and being on the front foot. And once you give that up to the opposition, I just think that's a really, really bad idea. And Martin, you've been saying there's quite a lot with Forest as well, that we just so often, look to sit back on a lead, and just time after time, we've seen that it's not a great strategy.
Much more difficult to defend than to attack.
It depends where your strengths lie as well, and the options you've got on the bench. That's another big factor in it. If you can bring on a really tall centre back who's just going to win everything in the air, then that's obviously that tactic's decided for you.
And I will just say that I think Exeter have got a real tactical problem when facing Northampton, because Northampton are a very direct lower league side. So they want to be on the front foot, like getting balls and long throw-ins into the box. So you'd think the obvious answer would be to push up to try and get on the front foot. But if you do that, Morton is quick. And so I just am not too sure sort of how you'd go about it, really. Because if you let him counter, then I think there's going to be real problems. Because that's what happened against Cheltenham. Like, first half, it was balls into the box and Verdane Oliver winning every header. Then second half, when Cheltenham actually had to open up a bit and left gaps in the defence, Morton just absolutely tore them apart. So it's difficult.
Interesting one. Well, watch this space. We'll see what happens. It's in a couple of weeks' time, isn't it, the final? So we'll see what happens there. Okay, shall we move on to the squad builder that I set you this week, the challenge?
Speaking of teams that attack more than defend, I can't wait to see Josh's this week.
You know what? I'm getting you to go first, Charlie. You've been bigging your team up, so let's have it.
I've been bigging my team up for the last hour because I've only just completed it.
And then realised there was a mistake.
And then realised there was a mistake, which I have now fixed. I have now fixed it.
Interesting.
So I've gone for a team with no A's, no E's, and no Premier League experience. I have a 4-3-2-1 because I can count. Starting with
That was a dig at me, wasn't it?
no, it was more of a dig at me myself. But starting with Gianluigi Buffon in goal. Starters we mean to go on. Back four are Fabio Grosso, Carlos Puyol, Diego Godin, and Joshua Kimmich. Actually, just to stop at this point, Martin, I wanted to get your clarification on this because I was watching BT talking about Bayern, and to pronounce it Joshua Kimmich is just like, it makes me cringe because that sounds so wrong. How am I supposed to be pronouncing that?
I mean, Joshua is fine for the first name. Kimmich.
Yeah, it was more the fact he was calling it Joshua.
Yeah, that's
it just felt so wrong. So I thought I'm going to check with an expert.
You know, the worst thing on BT Sport is Glenn Hoddle saying Bayern. It annoys me so much. I message Josh constantly when we're watching Bayern saying Glenn Hoddle is annoying me.
It's quite weird because Glenn Hoddle actually played abroad for Monaco, so you think you'd have a better grasp of languages.
What, wait a minute, Englishman going abroad, not understanding the language. Hang on a minute, that sounds
Stop me if you've heard that one.
Yeah.
Here we go for Joey Barton, Steve McLaren.
David Moyes, uno, dos, tres times.
So the first player in my midfield is Glenn Hoddle. No, it's not Glenn Hoddle. Midfield three of Philip Cocu, Tony Kroos, and Andrea Pirlo.
Nice.
Two attacking wingers, Luis Figo and Ludovic Julien. And Vinicius Junior up front.
Wow. Very nice.
There you go.
I can't fault that team because I've got about 8 of them.
I've got that. I'm not going to lie.
This is why I'm glad I went first. There'll be no vote this week because we all picked the same player.
We've all picked
the same team.
This will be the one week where one of us actually wins as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Gareth, do you want to tell us your team?
Yeah. I thought. Well, I mean, I thought everyone would go for Gigi Buffon. For me, he's the obvious pick in that. I can't think of a better goalkeeper. I thought with the defence I'd done quite well, but Joshua, however we want to say it, is my right back. I have got Carlos Puyol in centre back. I am partnering him though with Umtiti, French winner of the World Cup, and then at left back I have also gone Grosso. So remarkably similar defence to Charlie. That midfield three, it's the same formation. I have got Pirlo and I have got Tony Kroos. Alongside them, though, I've got Brozovic of Croatia.
Good choice.
Someone who I really rate as a midfielder. So I had to get him in there. Right midfielder, I have got Figo. This is where we differ slightly, I guess. This is someone I admire, and I really wanted him in the team, but I had a striker already, so I've shoved him out on the wing. I know he played there a little bit, but Olic. I always rated Olic as a player, and he was someone that I wanted in there from the start. And then my striker is a Roma legend. It is Totti.
Nice.
Yeah, Francesco Totti.
Yeah, Francesco Totti, Roma legend. So that's my team. So it's very similar to Charlie. I've just got Umtiti, Brozovic, Olic, and Totti.
Nice.
I've got Totti as well, to be fair. It's a great shot.
Yeah, there we go. Didn't think I'd be alone with that one.
Josh, do you want to go ahead with yours?
If I have to, I'm kind of wanting to change my team a lot after.
It's all Exeter players. He's just crossed the A's and the E's out.
No, I've got a different team, but we'll see how it goes.
Variety is the spice of life.
3-5-2. In goal, I think it's the same as you guys. Buffon. I got a back three of Puyol. But this is where it gets interesting. Next to Puyol, I've gone for Kelvin Wilson.
Oh,
you're right, that is interesting.
Because when you've got the class of Puyol, obviously you need the class of someone that came through the Notts County Academy. So there we are. I've also gone for, because a lot of this team was influenced by the players I've been watching in the last few weeks. And one guy who I've rated is the American defender at Wolfsburg, Brooks.
Good shout.
So that completes my back three. My midfield five, again, is quite German dominated. On the right, I've got Florian Wirtz, who's the 17-year-old that plays for Leverkusen, who is going to be an absolutely unbelievable player in a few years' time. In midfield, I've got Pirlo. Then I've got a couple of German names from the past, Mehmet Scholl and Torsten Frings.
Oh, yes.
Frings, what a guy.
And then on the left is a player I've been watching in La Liga, Munir, who is a winger for Sevilla. So then my front two, and this is a guy I can remember playing a few years back, Luca Toni. And to be honest, I was really struggling to think of someone to play alongside him. Obviously, I should have remembered Totti. But instead, I was thinking of Football Manager, and I've gone for a guy who's Martin recommended, who's been banging them in for my Olympiacos team, Guiri.
He's going to be a huge player, actually. Really big prospect.
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So.
When you came out with that, I was expecting, German Zweite Bundesliga players.
I'm watching some power.
I mean, that'd be difficult given I don't really know who many of them are.
I started talking about that interestingly at the weekend that Heidenheim beat Hamburg to go third.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know quite what had happened there.
They're right. Well, they're probably not going to catch Stuttgart now, but if they come third, I mean,
but they can get into the playoff
against Fortuna. I won't put it past them. Yeah.
And then they'll probably play either Bremen or Fortuna.
Yeah. Interesting.
All of this sounds like Martin's trying to delay telling us his team.
Yes. Well, I don't have a Heidenheim player, so I've changed formation again. I mean, I've not stuck with my 4-2-3-1. It's I don't know what's going on with me. Probably the wine, to be honest.
It's all French players in that case.
I don't think I have any. No, I don't actually. Well, maybe one. I'm not sure. Okay, so I've gone for a 3-2-4-1. Does that work?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got Buffon in goal. We've all gone for Buffon. It had to happen, didn't it? In my back three, I've got Godin and Puyol, and then one player that I remember from the late 90s, early 2000s for Bayern Munich, one of my favourite defenders ever, Sami Kufor. Absolutely player who, I mean, I remember him playing against Man United in the Champions League final in '99, which wasn't his best game, but it's probably one of the worst games I've seen him play in.
He was built like an outhouse, wasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so if you have him in between Puyol and Godin who can actually play, that's going to be a hard defence to get past. Right back, I do have Kimmich.
Yeah.
The left back, I've got the current left back of Atletico Madrid, who is Lodi, who is a young left back. He could go on to be something really special.
He's a fantastic player.
Yeah. I wanted Gaia, but, Gaia has 2 A's in it, so it's good.
kind of rules it out a little bit, doesn't it?
This is the man who created these rules.
I know. And then in midfield, I wanted Kondogbia, and I was going through his name, and I was like, oh, God, the last letter. Can I have Kondogbia?
I bet I know who's in his midfield in that case. I bet I know one of them already. Maybe not.
I don't think you do.
No, go on, carry on.
I've got Pirlo and Kroos. I couldn't look beyond those two.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Two of the biggest centre midfielders in the game. I mean, come on. My front three is, one of them's a name we haven't mentioned. On the right wing, I've got Isco at Real. Left wing, I've got Figo, another Real legend. And up front, it is Francesco Totti. Yeah.
Nice.
They are similar, but they have differences in key areas.
Yeah.
As well, which still shows that we haven't just colluded and come up.
We haven't copied each other.
What I do like is that we all went for Buffon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are some constants, aren't there?
When Martin named the challenge, he was the first name that came to my head. It was literally like Buffon, like straight away.
I mean, it was.
Well, to be fair, like the first, I remember him from my childhood, really, and the fact that he's still going, it's quite remarkable, really.
Yeah. Still playing in cup finals as well. It's not like he's gone down. It's crazy.
Because what happened there? Because he went to Like at 40, he left Juventus to go to PSG, and then after 1 season, he's back at Juventus. I have no idea what happened there.
I mean, it's hard to get in at PSG at the best of times, but I mean, if he'd gone to PSG maybe 10 years earlier, might have been a different story, you know. But
That could have been interesting.
What I love about Buffon is that we all say the question, you know, I'd play for Everton in a heartbeat, and we all say that about our clubs. But if your club gets relegated, would you still play for them? Buffon was at the absolute top of his game when Juventus was relegated, and he stuck with them. He stuck with them, and I think that, you know, I think that says a lot about his character as well as his goalkeeping ability. He could have quite easily, like you say, gone to, at that time, a Man United or a Barcelona and still been as good a goalkeeper as he is, but he stuck with that.
Could you imagine though being one of those teams that got promoted into Serie B that season and then you lined up on the pitch with Buffon, Nedved and Del Piero?
Nedved was really annoying in this challenge because I kept thinking about him for the left wing. And then
Well, you can put him in your team. You can put him in your team for next week if you like.
Oh, excellent! What is the squad builder next week?
It's me.
Okay,
I've got a doozy
just
for
Charlie.
just
Charlie up front.
you. You've got to pick me 11 times. No, so you can pick players from any era, so there's no time limit on this, but you can choose no more than 2 from each of the FIFA confederations. So no more than 2 from UEFA, from CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, CAF, the AFC, and OFC, the Oceania region.
Yes.
And no, we are not counting Australia. We are counting Australia as being in the Asian Confederation.
Even if they played when they were part of the Oceania
Correct.
Confederation. So we're going for current standings.
Correct, we are.
Cool.
You may
So
have
I like how you knew where I was going there.
Yeah, so you could, if you only want to have 1 and have that as your throwaway area, then that's absolutely fine. But you do have to have 1. So you have to have a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 2. So that would give you.
Is this a team of current players?
No, you can pick players from any era. So I've already started putting mine together, and one of my strikers retired probably at least 10 years ago. But when I say the name, you'll all know who it is. It's not exactly a mystery. So yeah, pick from any era. Pick from any era you like. Don't have to worry about whether they were internationals or anything like that. But they're the nation that they represent or that they are from. You can only have, bless you, you can only have a maximum of 2 from each of the confederations.
Okay.
That's great, Chad. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to that.
Awesome. That'll give us something to think about this week. Okay, shall we move on to Gareth's quiz then?
Yes.
Oh,
Final week of Gareth's quiz.
I hope you're all ready. Hey, so just as a quick reminder, this quiz is a head-to-head. We had Charlie against Josh last week. It didn't go well for Charlie. He lost 6 points to 4, and I was quite generous with the 4th, to be fair.
Thanks.
So this week he plays the winner of week 1, which was Martin. And before we get this started, Martin, just remind everyone of your buzzer.
Am I allowed to change?
You are allowed to change.
I'd quite like to go for Trotsky.
Trotsky. Okay.
Let's end with it.
And Charlie now needs to go for ice pick.
I was thinking that he could pick someone else from the Russian leadership election when Lenin died. Go on, Charlie.
Now you're digging back into my history degree. Zinoviev.
Oh, wow.
No one's here to clarify that information. So,
Josh doesn't have anything to do, so he's going to quickly go to Wikipedia just to make sure that.
Well, I know about the Zinoviev telegram in 1924. Is that the same guy?
It's just the same guy.
So the rules are very, very simple. I read a question, Charlie or Martin buzz in with their answers. If they're wrong, it passes to the next person. If they're right, they get a point. We've got 15 questions to go. And I'm hoping at the end of this, we'll have a clear and obvious winner between the 3 of you, but you never know. We'll see. Are we ready?
No.
Yeah, you ready? Okay. Last week we started with the politics one and I quite enjoyed it, so we're going for that again. In a 2015 speech in South London, who did David Cameron claim he supported?
Zinoviev.
Charlie.
I think I'm guessing the wrong one, but was it Aston Villa?
Martin?
West Ham.
It was
It was West Ham.
It was one or the other.
Derby.
Yeah, it was one or the other.
Oh, Charlie, what's happened there? Okay.
I went to you first.
Not the first time. Anyway.
Here we go. You two should know this. What match did we attend for Josh's stag do?
Trotsky.
What was the score?
Mansfield 5, Notts County 0.
Yeah, that is right. Martin got in there better than anyone. Quicker than Charlie.
Bonus point if you can name the goal scorers.
No. Wait a minute. I've got a better one. Question number 3. What formation did Mansfield play?
Trotsky.
Martin.
4-3-3.
Charlie.
The 4-5-1.
That's the same thing.
It was neither. It was 4-1-3-2.
Right.
Which is a bit... Sorry, guys.
If he wins, am I allowed to call for a breathalyzer test?
Yeah, you are the only one not drinking, so in theory you should.
All right, I'm better when I'm drunk. Josh can confirm.
Yes, that is the only time he's ever beaten me at tennis when you were hungover. Like you moved like an absolute beast.
He does, doesn't he?
Not usually a good thing on a tennis court. Okay, who is my least favourite manager of all time?
Trotsky.
Martin?
Oh, shit.
Oh, come on, this is obvious.
Let's go Kenny Dalglish.
Nope. Charlie?
It's probably about to be Jurgen Klopp because he's about to win Liverpool the league. I don't know, Ferguson.
Is it Big Sam?
It is Big Sam Allardyce. You are correct.
Oh,
Big Sam and his gravy train.
Have you still got the Allardyce merchandise I brought you?
I think I have. I think it's in the loft. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's exactly out on display.
Because I bought him a Big Sam face mask, which when you look at it, it is terrifying.
There was one day we were for some reason Josh and Tanya were around and we were watching Everton, and Tanya wore the mask the whole time, the whole match. Tanya was wearing this mask, and I mean, to be fair, we could say it was an improvement, but I'm not going to do that.
Or was it the fact that it obscured a view enough because watching Everton was just that painful?
Yeah.
I don't remember the match. That was it. Right. Before Josh kills me. We can cut that bit out, Charlie. We can cut that bit out. Question 5. The first time I ever saw Everton beat Manchester United live, it was a 3-1 victory for Everton. Name a goal scorer. It was in February 2010, if that helps. Martin?
In February 2010.
February 2010.
You've committed now.
I was going to go for an answer way before that, I think. I'm going to say, was it Billy Elepdinov?
Bloody hell, he's got a point.
I was going to say Duncan Ferguson. So
I wasn't there for that day. I know the one you mean. I wasn't there for that day. Billy Elepdinov was a great answer. The other ones you could have had were Dan Gosling, Jack Rodwell, or Dimitar Berbatov.
I mean, in fairness, I wasn't going to guess any of those three, so it's a good job I didn't get an opportunity.
That's fair enough. Okay, question number 6. What was my first football shirt and whose name did it have on the back?
Zanavia.
Charlie.
I don't know. Everton 99-2000 with Duncan Ferguson on the back.
Martin?
I'm going to say Sweden and Alexanderson.
It's a great answer, but it's not right. Josh, do you know this?
I would have gone for Alexanderson.
You're
Is
all
it David Unsworth?
It was actually a Newcastle shirt with Alan Shearer on the back.
What? The one man who scored against Everton every time he played against them.
But when I was very young, he was my first footballing memory. We're talking about a shirt that was it had Brown's Ale beer on it. So that's
how old it is.
Wow.
That's how old that shirt is, yeah. Anyway.
That's older than you, Gareth.
It almost, yeah, pretty much, yeah. So we'll move on to Josh now. How well do you guys know Josh? Number 7. Who is the only player's name Josh has ever had on the back of one of his shirts?
Trotsky.
Martin?
Himself.
His player's name. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, player's name. So Charlie, you get a free pass at this one.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Who is the only player's name Josh has ever had on the back of one of his shirts?
The problem is I'm starting to think about names on the back of shirts, and I can't remember which one it would have been Josh and which one would have been Martin.
Not usually confused between the two of those.
No, it's not often I confuse those two.
You want a clue?
Josh is going to laugh his. Yeah, I always want a clue. Josh is going to laugh himself
Come on.
silly.
Okay, okay. The clue is that I'm wearing it now.
Ah, right. Okay. God. Jay.
You what? Matt J?
Yeah.
No. Josh, turn around.
You okay?
The big reveal.
The big reveal.
The big reveal. He's wearing trousers, isn't
Oh, what trousers?
he? Anybody got 10p?
Oh, Moxie.
Can you see it?
Oh, Stockley.
Okay. That was not very. That was undignified. But
Yeah, I'm not blowing that out either.
Can we see the trousers again?
No. Oh, don't do that. Okay, now I am editing
I
it.
have exactly the same trousers.
yeah, I did have to get changed into pajamas after I got home today.
Right, okay, let's move on quickly. Which solid player did Josh almost trip up when he was a mascot for Nottingham Forest? So basically, he was a mascot for Forest. When he was running away with the team, one of the players, he almost tripped one of the players up. He described them to me as solid. Who was it? Martin was there first.
Is it Wes Morgan?
No.
You're on the right lines.
Is it Des Walker?
Yes, Charlie's got a point. He's
Oh.
back in it. Right, okay. Question number 9. You guys should know this. You were both here for this. So let's see which one of you gets it first. Which Nottingham Forest legend wished Josh all the best for his marriage during a recorded message? Martin.
John McGovern.
Yes, it was John
Yeah.
McGovern.
I knew who it was, I just forgot the name.
It was at his wedding reception. I went to film John McGovern, and Josh had no idea that was going to happen. He watched this really sweet video where he all talked about his life, and then at the end we hit him with John McGovern, and that was the only time I saw him cry all day.
Yeah.
How did the chat go with John McGovern? Have you got any anecdotes from that?
He was, to be fair, of all the people I talked to who I didn't know, he was one of the most genuine.
Mm.
And I will be honest about that. He actually took an interest. He was asking about you. He was asking about Tanya. He was saying how long you've been together. He wanted your proposal story. I may have, fudged it a little bit to make it a little bit more exciting than it actually was. But yeah, he was genuinely really nice person. So your old head teacher was a little bit less. I don't think he knew who you were, to be brutally honest. He kind of got your report card out and looked at it and went, "Oh, he was a very good student. He always got A's." And but John McGovern was great. Yeah, John McGovern was fantastic.
I don't know why you went to talk to my old head. I think you were more on the right lines with going to talk to footballers.
Anyway, it was a bit hit and miss. Anyway, so question number 10. According to Josh's younger self, the referee is a what? Is it A, a wanker, B, a washer, C, a wiper, or D, a whooper?
No idea.
Charlie.
Wiper.
It is the
I've
referee.
heard that story somewhere.
Also, Josh's wedding.
It was
that'll
probably,
be it.
Yeah,
I had a lot to drink at Josh's wedding, so
we know.
Yeah.
We know you had a lot to drink.
Yes, because there are photos where I've started stealing your best man's costume.
Yes.
Best man's uniform.
And there's pictures of me being slightly less and less dressed.
You're slightly more dressed.
Nothing changes.
No.
Right, so that was the Josh section. Charlie did remarkably well there. He actually won that section. Going into our blog section, it's currently 4-2 to Martin. Charlie, you've got a bit of catching up to do. Question number 11.
If I get a draw, does that mean I win? Sorry.
Yeah, probably. I'll work it out if there's a draw. We might need a tiebreaker between you two if it's a draw.
It's
Anyway,
not going to be me.
Who did Valencia beat on the 18th of August 2017?
Trotsky.
Martin.
Oh, it's one of two. Oh no, it's Las
You
Palmas.
said-
He's got it right. He's remembered just in time.
I thought it was Espanyol, but I remember.
Yeah,
Oh, didn't you go to that match?
he did.
Yeah, no, but I was thinking Espanyol. Espanyol was there in my head, but that was the game we saw, obviously.
I was so convinced I've got you for a second there, but there we go. Anyway, complete the name of this USL Championship side. Pittsburgh what?
Oh, come on.
No, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie.
Pittsburgh Riverhouse.
Well done. So Charlie's pulled back.
Somebody read my article. No.
Okay, in my We Only Rank article, which tournament did I claim was England's worst?
Oops, nothing.
Charlie.
Euro 2012. I
Martin.
went to see Euro 2008 when it was.
Martin. I mean, you're technically by default Euro 2008, but yeah.
World Cup 2014.
Ooh,
Was it
both correct.
2010?
It was the World Cup 2010. Mainly because of the ease of our group, that we didn't win that group.
I think you described that group as the easiest which a major nation has ever had in a World Cup.
I did. Therefore, I said an easiest which a supposed major nation has ever had at a World Cup.
I think on that, I think it was. I think I remember seeing like the front page of the Sun where they had like the acronym EASY. It was England, Algeria, Slovakia, and Yanks.
Yeah, that sounds
Not
like
Slovakia, the other one.
It was a great start to the World Cup, though, wasn't it? Which I actually missed because the TV cut to an ad break just before Gerrard's goal. So we missed the goal, and then the World Cup was pretty much downhill from there.
Martin, wasn't it your 18th when we won the England-America games?
It was.
We
Yeah.
were in that pub in Nuneaton.
Yeah.
And we kept sneaking. It was supposed to be like this family thing for Martin and him, and I kept sneaking out to the actual pub part to go and watch the football. They had England-America on the telly, and we kept sneaking out to go and watch it.
That sounds really grim, mate, when you start a story with, we were at a club in Nuneaton.
Nuneaton, yeah.
I was at a pub in the heart of Cheshire. I think
La-dee-da.
I know, right? I've come from privileged backgrounds. Right, so neither of you got that right. So now, this is a good one, I think. What would Josh's teammates call him? This is from the About Me page. I asked everyone what our teammates would call us. Josh gave me an answer which was particularly memorable. What was it?
Oh, jeez.
Clearly memorable.
I don't know if Josh remembers it looking at him.
Trotsky.
Martin's sort of searching for it.
I'm not. Jaden Stockley.
I'm going to minus a point for that one. It's the right answer to the wrong question.
To be fair, I mean, I probably am the slower Stockley.
He's pretty slow already, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Stockley is a good striker, but he is very slow.
Oh, it's Naviev. Is it slow?
No. Good answer, though. No, it was most likely a liability. Okay, finally, this one went down well last week, so let's do it again. Complete this quote from Josh's article, Football Without Fans. The fact is, a few football matches are really blank, a few are blank, most are somewhere in the middle. I like this.
Got me to edit in a tumbleweed here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get one rolling.
Hands up, I don't. I've read it, but...
Any funny answers?
I think the first word might be orgasmic.
Martin, you've got it.
Shit. That's what we're going for.
Okay. A few football matches are really orgasmic. A few are...
Shit.
Yep, shit. Okay, fair enough. A few are somewhere in the middle. Most are somewhere in the middle.
Only part way towards being orgasmic.
Charlie, anything? No, you've held your hands up. I'm giving Martin the point because, yeah.
Oh, super.
because orgasmic is a particular word for good, which is the first one was, and shit is another word for awful, which the second word was. So he was on the right enough lines, and you were never going to get there in a million years.
You're only doing this so it gets you out doing a tiebreaker question.
I wasn't going to do one anyway because you were 5-3 down with one question left.
No, I mean between the other two, where like there and
Doesn't matter. Martin beat Josh in the first week, so Martin's won overall. The final points are Charlie has got 0 points, Josh has got 1. Martin's won both of his matches. He wins 2-1-0. Well done, Martin. You know us the best, although I really don't think that's true. I just think you answered better than these two losers.
Yeah, he answered faster.
Yeah.
Fast.
You can say Trotsky quicker than you can say wallpaper.
It's all right, because none of you are going to do well on the quiz next week. No.
Oh, wow.
There we go, guys.
Is there anything we should be preparing for next week, Charlie?
It's a general one, but it's a quiz that I'm calling a Tour of the Islands. So we are going to be talking about various island-based questions. So don't think so much about like countries and look for 2 specific bits of information, but I will be asking you questions such as, let's give you a few hints. Australia comes up, Japan comes up. There's some World Cup-y stuff in there. There is one home nations question as well. This isn't going to be like, there's nothing specific I can tell you to focus on. It's that kind of random trivia that I might have picked up from somewhere.
Oh, wow.
So just think about the random kind of things that have islands in your mind.
Okay, awesome. We're going to fail, but it's going to be fun doing it.
Now, a couple of them you'll be able to guess. A couple of them are guessable.
Okay.
And there will be bonus points on offer.
Interesting. Sounds good. Wow. Anything else to mention before we wrap up?
So,
No? Okay, great. Well, thanks for listening. If anyone is still listening now, thanks for your contributions, guys. My beautiful 3 musketeers.
Stella hasn't told us who's who.
Say who you thought is who.
I didn't actually think about it, you know.
Have another glass of wine and then tell us later.
Well, you see, I think I should be the one who is seeking solace in wine. I mean, I'm the only one who's drinking wine. But I decided.
I thought the final one seemed to ring a bell.
Oh, a handsome young man who hesitates between his religious calling and chasing women.
Yeah, I mean, particularly the handsome young man part.
I was going to say, how tell you about the last part.
Not handsome nor young anymore. Maybe in the first iteration of We Only Sing.
I don't think I look a day over 27.
37.
That's convenient.
I mean, you notice the lack of a beard. It makes me look several years younger.
Yeah, it's jumped off your face and onto mine.
Can we just address that Josh has finally found out what a razor does? I mean, I'm still, failing that particular department, but Josh has finally found out he had to mention it.
Well, I mean, I couldn't be the one with the second best beard anymore, so that had to go.
You never were anyway, mate.
No, the correct order of beards always goes.
That's the correct order. The electric has run out.
Quick, turn it off before he comes back.
Turn the light off, come on.
No one hit my ranking. No, okay, we'll leave it there.
Quick, let's go home. Let's go home.
Let's go.
I'm still recording this.
All right, okay.
You wanna?
Everyone's on the edge of their seat.
Okay.
You wanna do your sign off, Martin?
Right, okay. So the correct order is Charlie at the bottom, then Josh, then Martin, then me.
That is bang on.
Bang on. If we do it for hair as well, Martin, Josh,
Oh, come on.
Charlie, me.
You're definitely bottom, Gareth. Sorry, I can't agree on this one.
Hands up if you've been to a barber shop in the last 6 months.
I actually have as well. That's the scary thing. This grows like insane.
I'm not sure I believe that. Right? Can we?
So if you're still listening in 6 months' time, Gareth's will be about down to his wonderful star trousers, which he hasn't shown us.
At Christmas time, just in time to be Jesus in Panther.
Okay, thanks for listening, guys. More next week. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Any comments would be more than welcome. And please do vote when we put our squad builders up on the Twitter page. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.